Hi class, this is Elise. The video that I chose to watch this week in the Unnatural Causes series was the short film Bad Sugar, and that film was about incidents of type 2 diabetes mellitus in the Native American population, and particularly the extremely high incidence of type 2 diabetes in the Native American population. I chose to watch this video because it is really relevant to my clinical practice right now. I currently work in an outpatient dialysis clinic, and one of the biggest culprits in end-stage renal failure is type 2 diabetes. And I live in Southwest Colorado, and a very high proportion of my dialysis patients are Native American. So this week we learn about social determinants of health and the Native population in general, but also here in Southwest Colorado. Besides just their race, they have several social determinants that make it really difficult to make healthy choices, make them much more susceptible to having type 2 diabetes. The two biggest things that the film talked about were, one, poverty, and two, geography. In terms of poverty, the easiest, cheapest calories to come by that are going to fill the belly are usually processed foods that are high in fat and sugar. We know diets high in fat and carbohydrates are related to type 2 diabetes. In terms of geography and life on the reservation, the film talked about how on the reservation one might not have access to fresh produce, and also that safe places to exercise and play might be often hard to come by. One thing also that was really interesting that I hadn't thought about before I watched this film that was discussed was that how stress related to poverty can actually raise blood glucose in itself. That stress can produce hormones like cortisol, those stress hormones that in themselves raise blood glucose levels. So that wasn't something that I had thought about before this film, and it's really pretty interesting. Yeah, ultimately this is definitely an issue I'm going to keep thinking about as I work with the Native American population, and I think there's a lot of room in community and public health to address type 2 diabetes in the Native American population through all the three levels, primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention that we talked about this week as well.